Good morning and welcome to the Be the Light meditations. I'm here in Olympia, Washington today, and it's a sleepy day. It's the middle of the summer, and it's sleepy and it's raining in the middle of the summer. A little bit unusual. And I noticed I did go to bed a little bit late, but I woke up at 6 o'clock, and my system was so buzzed that I could not go back to sleep. So if you're watching this, chances are you are working on making some sense of spiritualizing matter, becoming more of a light being and less of a dense physical body. And sometimes we wake up because the energetic work that is occurring energetically and coming in and through us and working through us, and I'll talk about the different types of that, can be almost pushing the stream for what we're able to hold and handle. So we actually wake up, our body wakes up to stop the accelerated power of all these changes and energies so we can have some integration and stop it. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened, because my brain feels almost as if it is being reworked and shifted today. And why the brain? The brain itself holds the major affected still points, and that's where the things happen. That's where it's all happening. These 0 points of our brain before we were born were configured to match the third dimensional reality. Here we are waking up and shifting. And what are we shifting? The 0 point geometrical configurations of our very brains, because it is through the neurological system that we are receiving these upgrades. They call it the axiotonal system. I love that, because you think of it as, gee, it's like a clothesline with all these little closed, you know how the old-fashioned kind that opened up. So the axiotonal system, as your own personal wake-up schedule is occurring, as facilitated by your willingness, your emptying out of your old stuff, and your spirit guides assisting and supporting this axiotonal system, like clotheslines of opening up, opening up, opening up. So it can be very disorienting. And I used to have, when I first shifted from regular 3D into who am I was about 54, I would go to this fellow, Peter, and he would say, you don't know who you are at all. He said, in the future, you're going to be running energy in front of crowds. I said, what do you mean running energy? Plugging in toasters? I was thinking electrical energy. He said, no, you're going to be running energy. So sometimes I'd call him and say, can I have an appointment, Peter? I have a question. He'd say, no, it's down. My processing system is down, so I can't receive any accurate messages. I'd say, what? He would say, I'm in the middle of an upgrade. So the days where you can't think, you're a little off balance, or this morning I felt like I was woken up at 6 because I feel in my brain that some new, clotheslines, or sometimes I call them sliding glass doors, are opening. The facetry is being polished and repositioned and expanded in relationship to what? To the divine plan unfolding on earth through our very axiotonal systems. Sometimes we call it electromagnetic circuitry, but that doesn't really give you a picture. It truly is axiotonal. There are access points, and it is determined by tones, frequencies. Your vibrational field right now has a specific geometric structure, which is moving and reformulating according to you allowing it through your will and asking, intending to take on the next level, the next upgrade, or your stasis, your stuckness in between spiritual worlds. And that's when the pain, the headaches, the chronic illnesses, the confusion, what's it all for? And the minute you start resonating on that thought field, you attract in other, I call them marauding consciousnesses, entities who will come in and sit on your shoulder and parrot those messages and take you into a cul-de-sac and giving you false spiritual messages and directives. So we don't need to go there. That's why we do this hygiene every morning and every evening. And on Wednesday, I'm just reminding you how to do it, how to do the very simple steps of the Be the Light meditation, so that you are, it's like flossing your teeth, you are monitoring that your axiotonal system is coming under your awareness. You may or may not be able to see your system as I see it. So we all have different skills. When I do a session with someone, I merge my inner eye and I see their body as a jungle gym. I see the nodal points. I see the structure of a geometric structure. And as they begin to talk about their problems, their core woundings, their stuckness, I zero in on the area where their geometric structure is not static. It's always moving and it's fluctuating in accordance with what? The universal pulse, depending on how aligned you are with your axiotonal points to the bigger grid, or your emotional field dominating and holding things still where you can't breathe even, where your blood flow starts feeling more contracted because your nervous system is vasopressing the circulatory system, and then a headache and this and that. So this all goes to say, the more you know, the more you can choose and re-choose to surrender. Surrender to the process of recalibrating in your timing and your grace. And on some level, if you're listening to me right now, you promised your creator, your inner soul, that when the time came to repurpose the energies on earth through your body, that you would show up and do it. Well, it's kind of hard with our usual thinking because, again, most people can't see it, they don't understand it. So we work together to learn. This a learning curve of understanding this transmutation, this process of spiritualizing matter, which is this physical body. And I'll tell you, is not just our own physical discomfort that occurs when we get confused or don't follow the next spiritual steps or do the work. Came to my awareness about 6 months ago. I've known for years that the divine plan has been held up. It's been stagnant and not moving as the divine beings trying to wake us up and assist and support us. And why? Because we tend to resist change. But even greater than that, each of us on this team signed up to hold a certain quotient, proportionate quotient. I'm not sure if that's the right word. I'm channeling here, obviously. But the energy that comes in is different for everybody's unique jungle gym geometric structure, because our consciousness differs in size, in style, in receptivity, and our mind must continuously let it in. So the divine plan was severely held up. Think of a sewer system pulling through the energies, all the waste, all the every old human emotions, everything we're all releasing, but one person, a linchpin, a key, kind of in between all the tunnels of moving from the old ways to the new ways. That person chose to live in such a way and get stuck that caused inflammation in his system, moving to chronic disease, into depression, and a blockage and resistance to letting in even a little bit of the massive light that his soul contracted for. And since each of us have a special place, I've shown this often, and we each have a place on the waking up the earth grid into this new fifth dimensional realm. If this person held a linchpin place, it totally clogged up other people receiving the energies and moving. This is a touch team, cohesive, mathematical, physics generated transformation of a low vibrating system in the 20s, 30s, and 40s to 400s. These are just relative scales to help us understand. If fear, resistance, reluctance, and jealousy it vibrates at 150 to 200, scientific truth tops out of 400, because absolute truth, they can't, with quantum field, it's just touching it, but they really can't embrace it. Scientists, they have to see it to believe it. So the higher truths, the expansion happens in the physical body beginning at 732 hertz, and so on, up to the galactic frequency range, thousands to 10,000, up to, kilohertz, whatever. I didn't memorize it all, but you get the picture. Each of us promised to bring in a certain voltage and to hold that vibration and not go sideways. Because if your light goes out, the whole team, it's like Christmas tree lights, has to wait. And so the entire divine plan, which is part of a plan distributed from source, orchestrated by very, very, very sophisticated, experienced consciousness beings from galactic and universal sources, then someone's born and they're not getting on with it. It's a little disappointing for millions, no, billions of people. So that's why I'm a cheerleader. And I'd say, get on the bus, get on your horse, go for it, do your hygiene, stay forward thinking, don't get sidetracked, keep your discernment, no false prophets, do not follow money-oriented, sensationalistic spiritual programs. Learn to connect with your higher self and source directly, and then keep adding more wattage, more wattage, more wattage. And knowing that sometimes, again, some people having terrible sleep problems, and they look at it in a third dimension of, which is fine, natural herbs and things, and having naps during the day. There's so many ways to work with getting rest. But if you understand this process of putting higher voltages into our axiotonal system, and if you're still living a 3D life of negative thoughts, foods that cause inflammation, of negative people stimulating your flight and fight, you're going to have exhaustion and fatigue that you don't have to have. So again, That's why we do these meditations every week for practical tips on how to work with the soma, the physical body, but bigger than that, to understand the importance of all of your choices related to holding your physical body and all of your choices to commune with the higher guidance all the time with the body that is holding vitality. So here's the thought, and I often say this to people who are a little bit overwhelmed with it all, trying to keep up with 3D and all of that, wearing the mask, trying to act normal, and then simultaneously understanding that you are this glowing, growing conduit of divine light with these new skill sets, is take a break, and this is how you do it. It's very simple. A day on and a day off. I used to use this. One of my children had a severe behavior disorder. Turned out to be a metabolic disorder. But in the thick of it, it was too much to balance everything our family needed and to monitor, protect everyone from this sometimes crazy child. So I instituted and embodied one day I would work on talking to all the people, the healthcare, the police departments. It was multifaceted, psychiatric units, doctors or medicine, one-on-one aides. I would focus all day, go through the list, and make so much progress when the kids were in school and she was with an aide. And the next day, I would shut it off. I'd be with my family. I'd do the lovely things that you can do with the family, creating birthday parties, uh, dressing up with my daughter and dancing the samba in a local parade. I lived as if I could get back to that issue tomorrow, and I did. And the next day I dove in. Everything got done. My sense of control, my sense of ability to be empowered in sometimes undescribable, stressful situations. And she's better now, by the way. We found that it was a metabolic disorder that quite a few people have, as a matter of fact, undiagnosed. So what if one day you dive into your spiritual process? And of course, it takes setting up your life a certain way. But if you're listening to me, you're well on your spiritual path and you have figured out how not to be mired in the 3D with other people or a job by now. You wake up, and today I am a divine creator being. I will do my meditation. I will do it profoundly. Why? Because the world things aren't pulling. I'm going to do those tomorrow. I'm going to do all the phone calls tomorrow. I'm going to do all the errands tomorrow. I'm going to figure things out tomorrow in the 3D. But I know how important it is to fill myself with the magic to ignite my creator ability to co-create with source in spiritual alignment and love and source, to hold myself in a place that my thoughts are magic wands. And it's true, it happens all the time. But you must open that field and step into it fully with commitment. So what if you do it one day? And what does that look like? Again, getting up, meditating. Okay, so I'm not here. You need a little help. Text me, email me, and I'll send you a video that you can sit and go through. I'll give you different choices. Or just listen to some of that beautiful YouTube music when they say 527 hertz. This is love. Kind of crazy. But anything that gets you in the zone. You create yourself a home altar. You get your body regulated and consistent, that when you sit at this desk at this time, there are beautiful things that you look at that bring you into the zone. And the zone is letting go. Letting go of thoughts, which are always based in the past, and your story, your history, expectations based on the past. And the past was so full of fear. So it's to clear out, clear the slate. This is your day on for spirituality and your day off for everything else in 3D. And don't worry, the magic is, you'll see. When you feel yourself that day eating foods that vitalize you, you're listening to your tummy, your mind, as opposed to your day on, where you're pushing it with coffee and sugar to get through. No, the spiritual day, I'm tired. You go rest. You shut your eyes and you open even more to letting go of your story and your thoughts and letting in the light. Be the light. Open up and imagine that the divine light is resourcing you. You are refilling. You are restoring. And think about it. You're doing this for all day. And people around you will start to know, oh, I only call her on these days of the week. You are setting yourself up to be strong, to be healthy, to be resilient, and you will begin to work with the spiritual intuitive directives so powerfully that when you wake up and it's your 3D take care of business, you are elevated and you are looking down, and suddenly it's your 3D day on. You're going to look and say, I don't want to do this anymore. This is nonsense. This is my old image of myself. And I don't want to have this for breakfast anymore. I don't like the way it makes you feel. So your body is going to get so stabilized and so bright and so clear on your spiritual day. The next day, you start letting go of the grasping, the agendas that are tight and there's not enough time to do it. You'll start choosing the most important things and you will feel efficient at self-efficacy, self-empowered, and you will think so clearly. You might even look at your debts and say, you know what? I'm tired of that. You will call in a program or a people or some option to help you release those debts. You couldn't have done it if you were mixing everything up every day. So this is a recipe for forward movement. And finally, after a while, you become the being who is operating from a platform. Remember, lower vibrations always vibrate up to the upper higher vibrations. This is an easy way to set yourself up for everything to rise to that higher platform where you are living the life of your higher self, directing, coordinating, listening with no resistance. Even saying the day on for 3D, we feel the resistance because the world is fear-based. So the goal is always to be in this world, but to kind of rise above it. And then you look around and you see other people rising above and beyond this thicker reality, which exhausts us. So it's just an idea. It's just a plan. But I know that's how I got my family through. And I was still able to do massive volunteer work, have dinner parties, and show up at the table, every table, educational, mental health, everything that my daughter needed. And I see that that was an important part of my path to take care of business with other authority figures that I've encountered later on. So you see the beauty in this? You learn how to breathe deep on the spiritual day. You reset your vagus nerve. Your vagus nerve, if it's in hyperstimulation all the time, again, it's squeezing. You can't digest your food. You can't breathe deep. You can't release the breath. So let's drop into a meditation now. I just felt that was all important to say the why and the how. And now let's drop into a meditation and see what comes through the beautiful beings on this call today. We're going to take our breath in with a slight difference. The breath in will take half the time as the exhale. This resets your nervous system through the vagal response to relaxation, out of flight or fight. Take a deep breath through the nose in the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breath in, 2, 3, 4, and count yourself down to 8. Beautiful. Just doing that twice made you more aware of your physical body in this space. All that holding energy to listen with our brains to stay safe and do the right things, that's taken up a lot of space. A lot of space. A lot of thought particles and a lot of physiological stress to be ready and respond. So notice as we let go of all that attenzione in the mental, that our body is more present. Feel your sit bones. Purposely let your shoulders drop. Roll your neck around a little bit. And if you need to, maybe let's do 2 things with our body. We ask and intend to set this sacred space. We put a beautiful geometric structure around our body that perfectly holds our 0 points in our configuration. We are stating that we appreciate our body, all that we've put it through, all that we have expected of it, and very gently we can appreciate it, and in any level that feels comfortable for you, apologize for overlooking the voice of your body and what it has been needing, which is to unplug from the fray. So this day on, day off, the first day you unplug. You unplug from the frenetic, the fear, the external stimulation. And as you do that, you can claim this spaciousness, this peacefulness, as we take our attention to our heart. And we ask and intend for our spirit guides to assist and support us with this commitment, if we so choose, to set aside days of just spiritual communion and listening to the prompts of how to hold our physical body in a way that allows for the activations, the upping of the vibrations and re-coordination of all of our systems for the highest functioning to fulfill our mission as messengers and vibrational conduits for the new world that we are envisioning. We ask that we are supported by the divine beings. But more than that, we ask that we set our sails, our will be thy will. Who is thy? That is your true, highest, core being divine self that does know, that does love you, even when you doubt and you question, because your higher, truer, divine self is plugged directly into source. So let's feel that as we redetermine our will to support us on this being the light process. Take this breath through your nose and out through your mouth and settle your system. Imagine that you are opening your crown chakra, and specifically the area in the back of your neck, the medulla oblongata, right at the base of your skull. This is a predominant receiver of spiritual energy. Imagine that where your skull meets the top of your spine is beginning to open and be more spacious. Release the earth condensed feeling. And as it opens, just imagine blue skies and clouds there. Clouds floating. This allows us to imagine, through our imagination, to access higher expansive realms through our spinal cord receivership apparatus. So our crown chakras are open, and we ask and intend that we receive a formula of frequencies, knowing we are vibrational beings and it directs everything. We're asking that the Creator, through our higher self, formulate a beautiful liquid light frequency formula into a ball of light that is specific to you. Whatever it takes or whatever you are needing to commit to the higher road of ease and grace, the discipline, any resistance, any confusion. This ball of light holds the therapeutic solution for. And believe me, this is easy for Source to create this, and this is what we're asking for. And it is being prepared. So just wait. And now let this ball of light that is prepared in perfection. Imagine that there is an anchor, that you are a boat. You are a vehicle that's, always going somewhere, doing something, always bouncing around. And this is your anchor to the higher communication system, to the higher knowing, to the all that is. It connects you to your truth in your easiest, highest way. There's nothing to resist in this beautiful ball of light. So when you're ready, allow this ball of light begin to melt down into your head, into that skull. Some of us have a pretty thick skull, if you know what I mean. And let it melt down into the cells of your brain and let it put out the fires of reaction, of false responsibilities, miscommunications and confusions. And let every cell in your brain and all the parts be held in a fearless, open, alert, trusting state. Trust the process. Ask and you shall receive. And you are being reorchestrated now and dropping an anchor in a full commitment. I'm all in to be a conduit of the light of source in the timing and the spaciousness of the entire kaleidoscope of timing and movement of all the other beings involved in the divine plan. I release myself to the flow of this, and I commit to be ready to hold the energies and to move them through me and connect in ways and to lie in my bed at night. And I allow myself to be on this circuit board of reharmonizing the earth experience. I let go. I desist. I surrender. I trust my higher self through the Creator. Let it be so. So let this beautiful golden anchor kind of drop down into your heart and feel the freedom. Let go of all the worry, disappointing other people who they're working on their agendas. They'll forget what you did in a minute. Be this light, drink it in its color, this fractalized color. If the Creator is a beautiful, beautiful big chandelier, and you are this prism with Windex, in this moment you are becoming a mini me chandelier. You are made of what the creative fiber of the universe is, with a directing benevolent consciousness. You are choosing this now to be disciplined and hold this in consistency with any simple pattern, day on, day off, meditate twice a day. You are dedicating yourself to living a life of miracles and magic and joy, while simultaneously, compassionately watch everything else that is not in divine order repurpose itself. People, places, and things have chosen to repurpose all that is not in divine order. We compassionately witness it and know that our job is to be the light, is to hold like an anvil, like electricity coming in, to hold the wattage and ground it into the new earth as the only potential for humans to stay living on this earth, moving forward, is kind, benevolent people holding the vibration of source. This has been prophesized through every major religion, and you signed up to be on that circuit board. So just let this energy flow through you and feel how it's shifting. It's brightening up. It's like little darts, divine darts are being thrown, and they are hitting your axiotonal points, and your geometric structure, sometimes it's slightly dizzying, is beginning to expand, exude more colors, more movement, and reflect the light of source. This is how we become the light, pulling this energy through us with a specific intention. And our intention is to anchor in and be committed to this process for our own benefit and for completion of our contract for this particular transition time for Earth. There's many names for it. Transition time. Okay, now this energy's down in your stomach. Let the fears go. And on your spiritual day you can move to the energy flowingly. On your Earth day you can also dance to Earth music. And you will find, after doing this for just 21 days, the fusion will have occurred where there is no duality. Your beingness can master the 3D easily, confidently, with lots of energy. That's the payoff. So just actually go ahead and move your body. Begin moving your body. Let all this beautiful energy through. And just imagine now that it's your 3D day. You're looking at your agenda, and I see you laughing. I see you laughing. You say, this stuff used to just throw me, and I would be distracted, and I would procrastinate, and I'd be mad at everybody. No. You're doing it because it's what it takes doing to stay in a habitable place, resource, but you're doing it from a super duper mentation, emotional regulation, and you're going to float through your day and do everything. And the last half of the day, you're going to say, that stuff used to wear me out. Now I have all this time to play and be happy with my family and enjoy earth things. You will be astounded at the unfolding benefits of really focusing and setting aside time for your spiritual growth until it becomes the light that permeates every thought, every action, every choice, every day. And then you won't have to do day on, day off, because you are a master of the human condition. You are impermeable to other people's tantrums and threats, and you just see it for what it is. A wild discreation of the third dimension, while you are glowing and growing and attracting and working with like-minded souls to become a beautiful new example of what it can be like to live on earth in peace, joyous, calm, and trusting and working with source all the time. You're connected. 3D is not connected to source. You know that. So I can talk forever and give more examples and more pictures, but I think we're good. So continue this energy running out the bottom of your feet. And as it is re-articulating, is it the word muticulation? I'm not sure. I just saw that word. Just put a beautiful golden Musoian egg around your body. Hold this new configuration in with no shocks or energetic little tears. Hold it in. When I say resilient, it means things bounce off, kind of a bug zapper. Even your own doubting thoughts. Just for a little bit, act as is. I have a sign that says, you want to be the queen? Act as if until it's true. Hold the vibration, feel the vibration of the future being seamless, because that's where you're headed. And this day on, day off is one foot in front of the other to get on your path together with your 3D story and your higher self all folded into one with your superpower kit in hand. Oh my God, it's so exciting. And what I love is you can always email me. It's always listed in the YouTube of what miracles and synchronicities that you are finding are like little gifts on your path. And that's how Spirit is showing you, yes, 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 this too you shall do, and more. That was the prophecy. And now understanding the vibrational fields, intentional consciousness, 0 points. It's wide open creation. So I look forward to hearing about your creations. All right, so we are going to sign off on the recorded part, and then we stay and have questions and comment as community. I am Jan Jorgensen, and interestingly enough, my website is called soundandlighthealingarts.com. Thank you.